there, crafty friends. This is Jeanette Cosson on behalf of Hero Arts, and today we'll be creating a really fun love card inspired by a stamp set. The stamp set is the Just For You stamp set, and it is filled with sentiments and fun little quirky sayings and things that are great for crafters and a few little images. To begin, we're using several sets of the Nesting Infinity dies by Hero Arts. We're using the Postage stamps, the Rectangle Infinity, and the hearts, in addition to a standard A2 folded card base. Trim inexpensive fun foam, or foam tape if you prefer, to fit the larger of the two nesting postage stamps we die cut previously from Hero Arts Dove White cardstock. Adhere to the folded card base, being sure that the fold is at the top. I love to use Hero's liquid precision glue for its ability to be wiggled into just the right spot. And it doesn't take much. In fact, if you use too much of any liquid glue, you risk having it show through your cardstock. A little will do you just fine. Then adhere the rectangle in place flat to the popped postage stamp. Set aside as we move along to the smaller of the two postage stamp die cuts. Align luggage tag alpha die centered, but toward the top to allow for a stamp sentiment below. Use the Heart Infinity die as just a guideline and remove it before securing with washi tape. I've stuck the washi tape to my forearm to lessen its stickability so that we reduce the risk of damage to the cardstock. We are just trying to hold the dies in place to pass through the die cutting machine. That's it. So after die cutting, this is what we're left with. Cut a piece of Dove White cardstock slightly larger than the lettered area, and let's get to some ink blending. Grab a piece of scratch paper and Dandelion, Deep Ocean, and Orchid Hero Arts Bold inks. These are all hybrids and they blend beautifully. I favor the Tailored Expressions blending brushes for their colored handles, but there are several great choices on the market these days. Blend Dandelion over one corner, then Deep Ocean, overlapping the two shades just a bit to create a secondary color. And then repeat with Orchid. Audition the die cut postage stamp and perfect blending as needed. Ideally, this is where we would stamp the sentiment. But because my brain doesn't always function ideally, I decided to go straight for the foam tape. Never fear though, where there's a will, there's a way. Just be sure to add foam tape solidly behind the area to be stamped, so that there's an even, stable surface for the stamped impression. Stamp sentiment from the Hero Arts Stamped Just For You set in a Misty Precision Stamp Tool with a new intensified black hybrid ink. This ink is awesome for rich, crisp, deep black text, but also for Copic markers and watercolor. It is my go-to for sure. Remove foam tape release paper and adhere to blended panel. Then check to be sure your fold is still at the top and adhere into place with precision glue. I like to use the lines on my cutting mat as a reference for straight placement, but you could also use a T-square if that's a better method for you. Next, add foam tape to the back of an azalea colored cardstock Heart Infinity die cut. Remove release paper and add a touch of precision glue so that we have that wiggle room for easy, perfect placement. Fill in heart with a clear sparkle pen. This one's by Spectrum Noir. Allow to dry for just a moment and then liberally coat with a Hero Arts lacquer pen for a cool, glossy finish. It's just like flood icing a cookie. Outline the design and then fill in completely. Be sure to set in a safe place to dry. Nobody wants a smudge at this point. I usually allow overnight. You'll know when it's dry because the fogginess of the lacquer will turn clear. For a fun matchy-matchy envelope, I've applied a strip of Post-it tape across the middle of the Hero Arts Dove White envelope as a mask. Next, ink blend with Crimson and the colors we used from earlier, Dandelion, Deep Ocean, and Orchid. Remove mask and reposition it to blend the flap. I love how the Hero Arts envelopes have this cool scallop detail. So fun. Blend the same ink colors again, a little bolder and a little stronger, to completely cover the flap. So pretty, right? I love giving handmade cards, but remember that the packaging can be beautiful too. You don't have to put as much time and effort into the envelope because, come on, let's be real, who's got time for that? but a little effort really does go a long way if presentation is important to you. And if not, that is certainly fine too. I envy those that have that great hand lettering that they can just scrawl out a name on the front of the envelope and make it gorgeous. I don't have that, so this works for me. I finished off the envelope by adding a few stampy details. Remember how I said this card was inspired by an image in the Stamped For You set? Yep, this is it. The faux stamp in the upper right-hand corner is it. Can you see the connection? Pretty close, right? Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm Jeanette Cosson here on behalf of Hero Arts, and if you're creating with us, be sure to tag us on social media so that we can see what you're up to. Crafty hugs to you, and we'll see you again soon.